everyone, how's it going? It's Hayley here. I figured I would do a vlog and just catch you up on everything that's been happening over the last week. So first and foremost, I'd like to talk about Shotcut. So some of you might have noticed that the style of my videos has changed somewhat over the last couple of weeks. Now, the reason for that is that I started out by using VSDC Editor. Now, VSDC Editor is, there's a free version of it which I've been using, and I was using that to make my infographics. Now, I'm going to start out by saying I am not dissing VSDC. They came out with a free version of their software, and that's a big help to YouTubers like me, so absolutely no hard feelings about that. The issue is that I think VSDC is better for making and editing videos, whereas what I do is infographics. So the way I animate my infographics is very different from just shooting a video. And VSDC didn't really give me the functionality that I need with that. So I went shopping, I had to look for something else that might help a bit more, and I found Shotcut. And Shotcut gives me the functionality I need. I love it very much, and I'm continuing to use it. And that leads us on to the second thing I want to talk about, and that's the character consultancy over these 3 months. So this is the really big bit that I wanted to talk about in this vlog, so here goes. I've staked out 3 months to get the character consultancy off the ground and convince myself and everyone else that it's a service that's worth having. And I think it really is. With that in mind, I started out by describing this service as a character development service for stage personas, alter egos, and original characters. Now, with that in mind, I approached stage performers. So I sent messages to several dancers and burlesque performers and hula hoop dancers, and I did not hear very much back at all. And at the same time, I mentioned the service I was developing to several writers who I happen to know, and they responded to me a lot more. So even if they didn't get it at first, they asked questions and then they understood. And after a while, I realized what was happening. So if you're a stage performer, chances are you're all about intuition, autonomy, spontaneity, that kind of thing. Now, the thing about those sort of intuitive strengths is they're not very compatible with words. Words and intuition don't tend to mix because intuition is about felt experience. So I think that when I came at these stage performers with a whole load of words about, hey, this is what I do, this is what it's an analysis, it's this, it's that, I'd need to do an interview. It just didn't sound like something they wanted, which is fair enough. But I've taken a lesson from the fact that my writer friends were more interested, and I have been talking recently to writers, people who develop characters in Word format, and character developers who will design characters for people on a commission basis, so they have to talk to their customers and find out what they want. And so far, that's a lot more responsive. So at the moment, I'm building up my library, and what I hope is that later on I can go back to the stage persona people and say, hey, rather than explaining everything, just say, check out this video, this is what I do. Now, all of that means that my upload schedule is all over the place. So when I said that I was staking out 3 months to get the character consultancy off the ground, what I meant is I've given up my job. So I gave up my job a month ago, and I did that to exclusively focus on the character consultancy, and that time runs out in early December. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to be uploading as much as I can, making sure there are lots of examples for people to see, but I won't be able to keep that up at the time. So I'm establishing now that I will upload something every Monday. So if you log into YouTube on Monday, there will always be something in here for you. And if you haven't clicked the subscribe button and notification bell, then it's worth checking the last couple of videos just in case you've missed anything, or you could click subscribe now. There you go. Right, so yeah, that's the upload schedule. That's Mondays talked about. Now, about the character consultancy continuing to function after 3 months. Like I said, I'm on a countdown, and the bottom line for this is that I do need to be able to support myself on this to be able to keep doing it. Bear in mind that the infographic videos, the personality profile videos take a long time to make. Now, the full length ones, they take a good 3 days, maybe 3.5. So if I have to work full time, I'm not going to be able to make those. I'll just be able to make the short diddy little ones. I do have a Patreon. I'm not very good at asking for money, but that's what I need to do right now. So my target that I want to make is $1,000 per month through Patreon or through commissions. So if you're feeling generous, please go and visit me on my Patreon. Now, I've included a link in the description below, but I also have a website domain which points directly there. So if you go to www.thecharacterconsultancy.com, that will take you straight to my Patreon. And there are several tiers that you can support me on. Please do. I'm really enjoying this. I'm having a fantastic time, and I would love to be able to keep on doing this for you guys. Right, so next on the agenda is Facebook. Facebook. So here's what's happened. Before I launched the character consultancy, I prepared. I bought a domain name, I set up my social media accounts, I planned how I was going to approach people, started writing copy, that kind of thing. So far, so good. And then I launched and I started uploading things to my social media accounts. That was fine until I got to Facebook. Now, Facebook had locked me out of my account. And I thought at first that was because I hadn't uploaded anything. Maybe their algorithm doesn't like it if you set up an account and don't immediately do something with it. That seems reasonable considering the problems that Facebook has recently. What they asked me to do, or what the error message asked me to do, was to upload a photo of myself to prove that I'm me. So that's what I did. It took them a couple of days to respond to this, but eventually my account was opened again. So I started uploading things, started connecting with people. Not very many, not very much, but it was a start. A few hours later, I'd been locked out again for exactly the same reason. Apparently my account looked suspect. I don't think I did anything suspect, but they asked for a photo of me to prove that I'm me. So I did the same. It took them a couple of days, then eventually the account was opened again. A few hours later, the same happened again. Now, I can see that this is just going to end up just going around in circles. So I haven't tried to get back into the account again, but I would like this to get sorted because Facebook's a fantastic way of getting word out about anything. In fact, can you think of a better social media site than Facebook for that? But continually playing ball just clearly isn't doing the job. So I'm going to put this out as a message to Facebook. Please, can you get it sorted out? I think it's an algorithm getting overly trigger happy. I don't know, but it's really not helping at the moment. So please help. All of which leads me on to my other social media accounts. Now, I'm doing pretty okay on Instagram, so that's not a problem. I'm mainly having issues at the moment with Twitter and Tumblr, thankfully not technical. The problem is I don't have any followers on either at the moment, so if you have a Twitter or a Tumblr, or both, please do follow me. Now that's all well and good, but what I did basically just there was begging, and I don't think there's any point in begging without telling you what's in it for you. So my Twitter, on my Twitter I upload characterization tips, so if you're writing or if you're coming up with any kind of character for any other reason, it just gives you little snippets of extra information to help you nail that character. And I also let you know of anything I've uploaded elsewhere on the internet. So it's well worth it as a kind of surrogate subscription service if you're not finding YouTube to be terribly helpful. Twitter will let you know when I've uploaded something, including to YouTube. And on my Tumblr, I'm mainly dedicating that to writing blog entries. So there's a lot of information about writing, about characterization in writing that I'm putting up there. So I'm uploading quite regularly at the moment. Like I said, dedicating time just to the character consultancy. So if you want information to read, then it's there for you. Well, that's everything for now. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.